There we go. Okay. Okay. I do want to catch up on this. I have been trying to catch up on the Lego situation. It's just kind of all over the place, so it's kind of hard to follow. So I've honestly wanted to keep up with it with the documentary stuff. So let's check out the Lego scandal. Honestly, like I have been looking for this to be like my information on it because like I said it's kind of all over the place. I hear like what is a thing, what isn't a thing. So we'll see this and then we'll swap on over to Xbox cuz we do have like less than an hour but it still is close to an hour.
When it comes to internet drama, Legos and minifigures probably aren't the first things that come to mind. On the surface, it sounds like a pretty mundane topic, hardly
Yeah.
the kind of thing you'd expect to dominate online discussion. So how did a seemingly ordinary dispute suddenly explode into one of the internet's most talked about controversies? What began as a routine consignment disagreement quickly escalated into what could become one of the biggest stories of
Wow.
the year, centered around a massive Lego collection worth over $200,000.
Yeah, Legos is not something to play around with, honestly. I honestly think the classic in the soul insult of like your mom buys you Mega Blocks instead of Legos, I don't think that's gonna work anymore. I think Lego has lost a lot of stuff. Like honestly, I will say I am a fan of Mega Blocks because Mega Blocks is the ones that have video game Legos. Like yeah, Lego has like Star Wars and I think that's like a huge point on that, but like I don't know. It's just Mega Blocks is the only one that I know of because I built a few of them. That's Halo. They have some Call of Duty. I think I remember a rumor of Destiny Mega Blocks set, but I honestly do want to build all the Halo sets. Like I've only built I still have the box of the Mongoose and I built a pelican, but I lost it. Like that was one of the things that I lost whenever I moved. And I still to this day am pretty sad. I cannot believe I lost that one. And I went through such great care of like trying to preserve that like build.
According to the allegations, the collection was fraudulently taken by a major company in the Lego resale space, Bricks and Minifigs. In fact, the alleged theft is just the tip of the iceberg. After digging into this story, I have found a web of accusations involving hundreds of—
Okay, so I should say I did not catch this whole thing until a police raid. That's whenever I caught wind of it because um every now and then like through like TikTok I see like weird things because like how people react with like repossessions it's normally called with the cops and people do like the craziest things. I came across this um when the police raid happened and they dislocated somebody's shoulder. I don't know who they dislocated, but they people reviewed the footage and it was shown that there was like no attempt of escape that they said and they just like straight up dislocated his shoulder.
thousands of dollars, claims of police corruption, alleged bribery, and even connections to the Mormon Church.
What?
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist.
How does any of that combine?
YouTube documentaries, and today we are covering potentially one of the wildest stories of the year. So subscribe if you haven't already.
I have to agree, this is a wild
Started
story.
with one 83-year-old man. This guy spent decades building what is believed to be one of the largest Lego Star Wars collections in the world. The collection was valued at roughly $200,000 and contained thousands of rare sets and minifigures. Then it
Does it I'm sorry, hang on.
disappeared.
I didn't want I didn't want you to have like a weird pause on that. I'm so sorry, internet anarchist. I apologize. Does it contain the now rare original Boba Fett ship? Because if you remember, they renamed Boba Fett's ship and Jango Fett's ship. I won't say the name on stream, but everyone knows what it is. It's blank one. I'll say that to Fire Spray. And that stirred up so much stuff with Disney because in the show Book of Boba Fett, Boba Fett calls the ship Fire Spray, and they revoiced a line in Star Wars Bounty Hunter from the game that you play as Jango Fett, that now he calls it Fire Spray instead of like what it originally is called. Which from Disney's perspective of it, I get it, but there were so many people that that revolves around that topic of a name, and they said that's a ship from when was Boba Fett's ship originally brought out? The 80s? Like the early 80s? Because Boba Fett was not in 7 originally. They put him in later on. But like his ship first making an appearance in episode 5. I want to say it's the 80s because the original Star Wars came out in 1977. But yeah, that was like a whole thing, and a lot of people said like that name is fine for an iconic franchise as that. So I wonder if he still has the box set of that ship.
Not from Eric's house, not from some random storage unit, but after it had been left with a local bricks and minifigs branch in Salem, Oregon, where the family believed the store was supposed to sell the sets on consignment, meaning the store would sell the Legos on Eric's behalf, take a cut, and then pay him the rest. The collector's son, Brian, reached out for help. His father had recently suffered a serious health episode, and Brian had no idea how to tell him that most of his life's work was effectively gone. At one point, the collector—
That's something that is scary to hear because a lot of people do like collectible stuff. Like there's a guy out there, I don't remember his name, and it's going to annoy me that I don't remember his name. That he has the biggest Halo collection ever, and he has like multiple storage units of nothing but every piece of marketing stuff of Halo, and every piece of like merch and toy and things of Halo. And he says his life goal is to build a museum just for the Halo collection. And it's kind of hard right now because over in Halo Studios, they just like, I think it was like a few months ago, they announced a museum of most of the Halo stuff. The only thing that they can't get is in Halo 3, there was a dome statuette that we can only see in a trailer that was meant for like the Believe section. That's been broken up into many pieces and sent out to the Halo devs that they have all the pieces with them. So it, like that dome shaped like battlefield of the Master Chief holding a grenade being held up by a brute chieftain is no longer together. That's like cut up into multiple pieces. But I would be all for it for him to get that piece and have it in the museum. And I want him to build that museum. I want to know how it can help with that, honestly.
filled nearly the entire store. Shelves were packed with rare Star Wars sets, and additional displays had to be brought in just to hold everything. Things changed when the franchise owner, Crystal, planned to move overseas, and informed corporate that she intended to sell the store. According to Crystal, corporate stepped in, terminated her franchise agreement, and forced her out before she could properly inventory the store's contents.
What?
Security footage allegedly showed corporate representatives acknowledging that the family's collection was still in the building and discussing how ownership would transfer with the business.
These are ones that he has not been paid his percentage yet. And if I don't have the tickets, I won't know how much I need to pay.
That's a business thing and not necessarily yours. He's taking on the business, he takes on all that outside that part.
After being removed from the store, Crystal contacted Brian and warned him that corporate was taking control of a collection that did not belong to them. Brian immediately contacted the store. When he explained that many of the Star Wars sets belonged to his family and offered contracts, photos, and documentation proving ownership, he says he was met with resistance.
So right off the bat, this is already like bad. Already right off the bat, and he showed proof of the contracts. Oh no.
According to Brian, the new owner told him that if he wanted to fight for the collection, he could take the matter to court.
And I said, what happened to Crystal? He goes, well, that's kind of a private matter, but...
Wait. Is this what he did? He created a short with Lego mini... Oh, that's great. I honestly do like the short with the Lego minifigs. I do like the things that people do with like Legos of like recreating stuff.
Operations taking over the store. There's something I can do to help you with. I said, well, yeah. I am the owner of about half your store's inventory. All those vintage Star Wars sets you have in there are ours. And he goes, oh, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, well, you better get to learn about it because I have a contract, I have photo evidence, video evidence, like that is our collection. So
I don't want to play both sides on this. I really don't, because like I know like from the arrest to like I think like the court serving papers, that's as far as what I know, but I doubt anybody higher up would know about any of this, but they were pre-told, and this guy does have a contract with them that he has I'm assuming the original part of it, that he showed it to them, and he's willing enough to show them like what is his property on that. So I don't think like there's any communication with like the higher ups on that, but that still is on Lego's fault on that one. But this guy did do everything right. I will agree. He's willing enough to show the proof instead of saying, "Trust me, bro." But usually when a business is bought out, there's people like trying to like take what they want from it. But if he has the proof, he has the proof. But he does.
I went down to the store, brought a copy of the contract. We're like, you need to let me in back and let me see the sets that you still have. All you have to do is let me in back. We can go that route or we can go to court. And the guy just looks at me, crosses his arms and goes, let me tell you what's going to happen. If we go to court.
Oh, that line. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Yeah, what's going to happen is if you're going to show the inventory because he has the contract, you're going to give him back his property.
We're going to drag this thing out so long, and you're going to end up spending so much more money than your collection is ever worth or what you ever would have gotten out of it. Then it ain't worth it, man.
Brian and his father did not have any resources to fight a lengthy court battle. Attorneys reportedly estimated that pursuing the case could cost tens of thousands of dollars, especially because some parties involved had
It would still be cheaper than Nick's lawsuit. Not lawsuit, his court case, because we watched that the other day, and that cost him in total for lawyer fees alone $400,000.
moved to Spain. Multiple YouTubers initially looked into the story, but backed away after receiving legal threats. The company appeared willing to use its size and resources to discourage anyone from digging deeper. Eventually, on May 21st, 2025, YouTuber WeakliestDETH decided to investigate it himself. He traveled to the Bricks and Minifigs location and attempted to ask about the collection. Employees refused to discuss it and repeatedly threatened to call the police. Corporate representatives pointed him back to the local.
If they're threatening to call the police, that means there was a meeting to the people saying this might come up. We've had this. Just redirect it to that. Just like call quote unquote security or the police right away. Because like I don't know the amount of like people that have like looked into it, but they know that this thing has been going on, and there's no way that they did not look further into it through like all the paperwork of the previous building, that this was a thing, and they're just standing their ground hoping people would just give up and they would keep the figures.
Local store. The local store pointed him back to corporate. Neither side accepted responsibility. Ben then met with the Bricks and Minifigs CEO, Amon McNee. During the conversation, the CEO denied that the family's $200,000 collection had ever existed in the way that it was being described. Despite social media
That's not
posts
good.
and other evidence
No.
that appeared to reference the collection directly.
What's going on?
They promoted the collection? Oh, God. Hey, where did this brick, like, Lego set come from? Oh. Alright, let's just promote it. What?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Is that a lie?
No.
That's a lie. You did.
That's 100% a lie, because look at his facial expression. Look at his facial expression when he answers this.
No.
The head nodding, that's fine. Some people use that as deflecting, but look at his eyes. Look at his eyes here when he asks him again.
Is it a lie?
No.
Look at that. Look at that right there. He is immediately lying. That is got to be like a tick of him lying. Oh God.
That's a lie. You did take the Legos.
No. So we have our attorneys have visited. Well, like again.
If you're not lying, one of the most things about this, and this is one of the things that like previous jobs I've worked at, of like people who prove that they're lying, they do not maintain eye contact. It's okay to like, nod around or like itch their face or something. Like you gotta look for like the body movement. But his body movement, he keeps looking to the left anytime he starts an answer because he's got to like recuperate his mind for that. So his body language is even proving he's lying.
So who's like
Brian Mansell.
okay, and who's that?
Again,
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos in your guys' store.
Never happened.
I mean, it did happen. Yeah, it does happen.
No, we did not.
Yeah, because his Legos were in the store and you guys took them. I know you think lying to us right now is kind of like helping you out.
Not lying to you.
Well, look, we both know you're lying, but
no, we don't know that.
So I showed him some social media posts his own company made that are still up that claims that these are Brian Mansell's Lego sets. And these Lego sets that they're still holding on to are worth $200,000. But all of these claims are from his own company. We just caught the CEO of the entire company red-handed in a lie.
That's
Meanwhile,
wild.
police consistently treated the
Oh my
dispute
God.
as a civil matter rather than a criminal one. Ben was eventually trespassed from the store and warned that returning could result in arrest. Unable to make progress through normal channels, Ben launched a series of increasingly absurd investigations and stunts designed to force answers. Along the way, he managed to speak with employees who revealed that management had discussed ways to get him arrested.
You know what's really funny is after you left, I got a call from my boss, and it was like, how do we get them arrested?
dang.
What? Management is using up an entire thing to figure out how to get these guys arrested. No way.
Get them arrested.
One employee also admitted that some of Brian's sets were still in the store. The biggest breakthrough came when Ben finally obtained the phone number of the store owner, Josh. Josh's defense centered on a legal argument. He claimed that because he had not personally signed the original consignment contract, he was not bound by it. Ben argued that this contradicted earlier.
That's we're getting into like the legal gray areas of it because one of the things, like, okay, so one place I used to work at, a company, I won't say like the names of the companies or anything. One company was going under, but they still had like valuable like stuff that's branded with the company. And then the place that I used to work at, they bought out that company. And usually when there's like a buyout, that's like the one of two like stressful times. Like obviously it's never like concurrent on when it is, and let's be real, around like the end of fall to beginning of winter time of year, everyone's like going crazy because they want time off for the holidays, which is fine, but like nobody ever knew like when the buyouts would happen. And whenever the buyouts happen, there's only like two cases I can think of that this happened, that the people that I used to work with, they would call the owners and be like, hey, we are the new owners of like this contract. Is there anything that complicates with things, but we would like to keep the contract the same as it is. We just have to turn over the name. We just got to send over the reprisal of it, just with the current company's name, and we'll change the dates. It will still be the date on how long this is, but it will end at the same date as the previous company. That's the most normal thing. for that. There was a few times whenever people found out the value of it and then they try to extend it, but there's only like 2 times I can think of that happened. There might be more, but I don't know them. But doing this is reckless. Because once a company buys out another company, most of the things that happen with that company is now dawned to that one. Sure, some of them become null and void, but it's a huge unknown within that.
Earlier statements and ignored the fact that the business had taken possession of property that was never supposed to become store inventory. As pressure mounted, Josh repeatedly encouraged Brian to sue, knowing the family likely could not afford a prolonged legal fight.
It's law, and if you want to test your fucking opinion, let's do it for it. Who enforces the law?
The court. So you're saying that.
It's just.
So you're saying. So basically, what you're saying is I'm wrong, but you can sue me for it. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the long and the short of it.
So you know you're wrong. So you know that you stole the Legos then.
Let's go to court then.
Okay, let's do it.
The court will favor him. Well, it's supposed to.
You really want that?
I mean, I don't. I would like to just get the Legos back, but if that's what you want, I mean, it seems like this is what you want. I'm giving you every out that I can, but.
Let's just not go down. Look.
Dang.
Don't go down that route. It doesn't really matter because.
I just want to get the Legos back. They're Brian's Legos. Give them back. It's pretty easy.
It's kind of funny that this entire video, Josh has just been begging me to sue him.
After months of documenting evidence, Ben and his team took Josh and the store to small claims court. Josh had spent most of the investigation daring people to sue him, convinced nobody would actually follow through.
I highly doubt Josh knows how the legal system works with contracts.
Let's go to court. I'm calling the police right now, and you guys are going to be arrested for harassment.
But when the court papers arrived, he reportedly treated them like another joke. Then he made an insane mistake. He never responded. Because neither Josh nor the store answered the lawsuit, the court allowed the case to move forwards as a default judgment. After spending months insisting nobody could touch him legally, Josh had effectively handed them the victory by ignoring the case.
Yes, since Bricks and Minifigs didn't respond, looks like we win by default.
Congratulations, you won the court case.
Wait, what? They really thought it was fake.
Yeah.
We did it.
Hey, that's fucking crazy, dude.
No way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think now it's time to go all the way back to Bricks and Minifigs and collect our money.
You would think this is where the story ends, and everyone got a happy ending. The old guy got his Legos back, and the legal system prevailed.
That's what it's supposed to go.
Because we are under the eternal wrath of boomers and local governments, this is not the case. Immediately after this judgment was served, and I mean immediately, literally the day after, the store was permanently closed. At took this as a massive win, seeing as how crazy it is that he had gotten them to close the store. But he slowly realized that this was not the win he thought it was. They still came out on top. Because the local store was closed, apparently they didn't have to pay anything they had owed. So now he was right back at square one. This wouldn't stop Ben though.
Wait, how did they?
Seeing this, he would hang up a sign on the.
Oh, I might have laughed at the
store
wrong
and
time. I
take a
thought they
picture
won.
with it. Permanently closed. We stole a family's life savings. They sued. We lost. This picture would do numbers across several social media platforms and generated a ton of buzz before the video was even out. At the tail end, Ben assures everyone that this was not the last that we had seen of him, and that a part 2.
I wonder if that
was
sign
coming out.
still is up
After
to this
Ben
day.
posted this documentary, the video immediately garnered millions of views and instantly created buzz around the topic. Massive creators like Moist Critical would cover this and demand a response from Bricks and Minifigs. The same day Ben posted his video documenting the entire ordeal, the original owners of the Bricks and Minifigs store posted their own video detailing the alleged extortion tactics the corporation used to basically push them out of ownership.
They told us the same thing they told Brian Mansell, that we could fight them, but they would drag it out and make it so expensive we would be putting
Well, how would they drag it out if they don't go to court?
Their words. Here's their executive product manager and director of operations, Kai McAllister, on the phone with us the night they took the store.
If we go the legal route, it's going to be a very expensive battle for you, and it's not going to be a good position for you guys to get into. That there's not a whole lot of options for you. If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess and it's going to be expensive for you.
You talked with her or you talked at her?
We talked at her. If you fight this,
Oh, I'm sorry, my
then
model's
you're
freaking
putting
out.
yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that because, in a way, it is.
Okay. Sorry.
I mean, we have no choice, correct?
Yes.
Notice, that's not some franchisee. That's corporate. They want to pretend they're not involved, but they've been involved every step of the way.
They also corroborate the claim made by...
You know what they should do? And I hate to say this. I really do. I think it's time we use the Karens. Because, like, let's be real, we've denied the Karens power so much with the, give me your number to corporate. I demand your number to corporate. I think I'm putting out a plea to the Karens out there. Call corporate. Use your power for good for once, for good. Like, let's be real. Some of the things I've seen that's harassment is wild. Like, you guys throwing food and stuff at people. I think that's wild. But, like, you guys are trained for this.
Ben that they were always on board for co-signing, and only now were changing it because they wanted to keep the Lego sets, ending the video off with an announcement that they are also suing them and that any money won would go towards Brian's family.
And once they even tried to say we never owned the store in the first place, which would mean all their claims that it's the previous owner's fault would be lies. And I guess that you were unpaid labor for 2 years?
So yes, we are suing them.
And yes, they are.
I like her
trying to make it
earrings.
so expensive, we'll have to give up.
If you fight
Those
this,
are really cool.
Then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit.
We believe the best way to get Brian compensated.
Like, I hate to mispoint that, but, like, look at that. Mandalorian and Grogu. I like that. That's adorable. I'm sorry.
To win our lawsuit,
I just had to point that
include
out.
the full value of his collection in the damages so that he can.
Oh, and they're Legos too.
Bricks and Minifigs would respond with a post on their website. Over the past several months, many in our community have seen posts and videos regarding a dispute involving former Bricks and Minifigs location in Salem, Oregon. We understand the frustration and passion behind these discussions. Bricks and Minifigs is built on a community of collectors and families who care deeply about fairness, and that is a value we share. To be absolutely clear, Bricks and Minifigs does not condone, tolerate, or participate in the exploitation of anyone, especially older adults or vulnerable members of our community. When a complex business dispute,
But why does your CEO lie?
Media clips, critical facts are often lost. While we will not litigate this,
But we have the facts. There's the contract.
The statement claimed that much of the online criticism was based on a misunderstanding. Bricks and Minifigs argued that the center of the dispute was a private consignment agreement made by the former owner of the Salem store. According to corporate, that agreement was never approved by the franchise system. Ben, of course, would respond in his own video, and at first would actually agree with one part of it. If the former owner broke franchise rules by accepting Lego sets on consignment, then the arrangement may have violated company policy. But he pointed out the obvious question. If Bricks and Minifigs says it never authorized the deal, why were the family's Lego sets still sitting in the store? If they weren't being bought by the company and the consignment wasn't valid, then why not simply return them? The company's statement also claimed it had repeatedly asked for evidence supporting the accusations. Ben,
There is evidence. It was shown.
The footage where he personally tried to deliver the contracts, inventory records, and other documents to store representatives, only to be told to leave and threatened with police involvement.
Also, here's still all of the Lego sets you guys still have.
I don't have anything to do with that, and I don't want that. You can go ahead and leave, and I'm gonna ask you one more time. Last time. I do not want that. You're not handing me anything.
I tried for a long time just to get her to look at this contract.
What's his? He owns the Legos.
Huh? He doesn't own the Legos.
Well, yeah, we have a contract. He does own them.
No, bro, are you an idiot? Are you stupid?
Uh,
You
Josh, the police,
He says there
That's
is
a wild
written
thing to say
consignment
to a
agreement,
customer, though.
inventory records created by the store itself showing which sets were sold and which remain unpaid, security footage discussing Brian's percentage of sales, and time-stamped photos documenting the inventory still in the store after ownership changed. Bricks and Minifigs insisted that any legitimate claims should be handled through proper legal channels rather than through social media pressure campaigns. But Ben had argued that this had already happened. Brian
Except this did go through legal, but let's be real, the dumbass didn't go to court, so he immediately lost. So you have both the contract and the court. It's just, they're playing this whole game of, it's mine, I don't want to play it. Wow.
And won. After losing in court, the Salem store shut down rather than paying what was owed. He claims the closure was to avoid paying out the judgment, which is why he rejects the company's argument that critics should simply rely on the legal system. Throughout its statement, Bricks and Minifigs maintained that it does not exploit customers, especially older adults. Ben argued that the real issue remained unanswered, why the company still possessed Brian's Lego collection without paying for it. The company's response ultimately raised more questions than it answered. He argued that instead of explaining why Brian's Lego sets remained in the company's possession, the statement focused on distancing corporate from the original consignment agreement while avoiding the central issue of what happened to the collection itself. A few days after this response was posted, the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs would actually go on livestream trying to clear the air and show their apparent side.
I also just got a thought in my mind. I don't know why this popped up in my mind, but it should have. I'm starting to realize, why did they promote the stolen Legos? Because they want to get it out of their inventory as fast as possible. And if they get it out of their inventory fast as possible, they can say they don't have it. But instead, they just keep saying, we never sold Legos. Instead of them saying, we don't have that in our inventory. We never, they could have played the deal, which is still wrong. We don't have that in our inventory, and they don't have to show them the sold part. I don't want to take both sides on this, but I'm looking at this like, I don't ever want to be in Bricks and Minifigs position. Really, I don't, because like, holy crap, I know I would run this place a lot better. But I feel like that was their thought process of like, hold on, we actually do have this contract. How can we get out of it? Because we already digged ourselves a small hole. How can we get out of the hole? But realistically, doing that will get them in a bigger hole.
The result was not pretty. Muppet CEO is legit destroying a $400 million company for $200K. What an absolute loser. This CEO is an embarrassment. Where's his humility? Return the damn Legos. Killing your company to cover a $200K scam is crazy. This CEO is dumb as a rock. The live stream started with easy questions and a prepared statement from the CEO, Amon. He spent much of the opening talking about franchise owners and employees across the country who had allegedly faced harassment and threats because of the controversy. The host and commentators agreed that harassment is unacceptable and shouldn't be part of any effort to hold the company accountable. But once the discussion—
I mean, I'll agree with him on that. Harassment is never an okay thing. It's never an okay thing. But he's claiming off of like the legal things that he's against with him as harassment, because he does not want to be bothered with this at all. Like, don't harass people. I will say that. Do not ever harass people. But dude, you lost the legal system. You lost with the contracts. Give back the minifigs.
Moved into the details of the Brian Mansell case, things became much more complicated. One of the biggest claims made during the interview was that Bricks and Minifigs had repeatedly tried to contact Brian Mansell and Ben to resolve the situation. According to Amon, the company had even attempted to return part of Brian's Lego Star Wars collection, but received no response. That claim immediately raised questions. Comments pointed
Hey Tara,
out
sounds
that
like
Brian
an old
would
school
have no
theft,
obvious
basically.
reason to ignore it.
Oh, this is 100% old school theft. Like they're trying to go around the legal system.
Offer to recover part of his collection. The contradiction became even more noticeable because just a day earlier, Bricks and Minifigs leadership had discussed restraining orders involving Ben, Brian, and members of Ben's team.
So the new—
now we know why he's playing
we just
harassment.
received, a judge just granted a temporary restraining order in this case against Ben Schneider, Mansell and the rest of the group there.
People questioned how the company could simultaneously claim it was desperately trying to communicate with them, while also pursuing legal actions designed to keep them away. Another major point of contention involved the consignment agreement at the center of the dispute. During the interview, Amon stated that corporate had no knowledge of the arrangement until after problems emerged. Viewers argued that
That's 100% your company's fault. Like I said, when a company buys out a company, you have the same, either the same lawyer or you hire another lawyer to go through all the contracts, because the contracts are best read through lawyers, and a lawyer had to see, hey, this contract's here. I know that because I've seen that multiple times with my jobs.
Footage appears to show Key, a corporate representative, acknowledging the consignment and discussing how it would be handled after the ownership transition.
If we go the legal route, it's going to be a very expensive battle for you, and it's not going to be a good position for you guys to get into. That there's not a whole lot of options for you. If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be expensive for you.
Yeah, so
let me tell you how that court case is going to go, because I know, like, those two that I talked about earlier, how the court cases went in the past when my place of work bought out a couple companies. They went to the court case. The first plea happened. The lawyer said nothing other than, here is the original contract of this certain acquirement, and this is what we're trying to do. The judge looked at it, and of course the judge has to go to the defendant, or not the defendant, the plaintiff, and the judge both times went, essentially, are you stupid? This is a contract. This is legally binding. This is still a problem. Do your thing that you agreed to. There's no way that they could have won that in court. They already lost the first court case.
So why not consider talking with us rather than leaping to this?
We jumped on the call with Crystal this morning.
And you talked with her, or you talked at her?
We talked at her. If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that, because in a way it is.
I mean, we have no choice, correct?
Yes.
The most controversial moment came when Amon was asked a hypothetical question. If he could go back and do everything again, would he simply compensate Brian Mansell and move on, even if the company believed it had done nothing wrong? The reasoning behind the question was simple. Throughout the interview, Amon emphasized the harm being done to franchise owners through negative publicity, bad reviews, and public backlash. Comments expected that protecting those franchises might justify a quick settlement. Instead, Amon suggested that he would not change course. He defended the company's actions and spoke at length about integrity and doing the right thing. The very same day that this livestream interview was aired, Ben would drop his second bombshell video.
This is what I saw.
Because of Legos.
This is what I saw, that a police officer dislocated someone's shoulder.
Over the following weeks. Following the first video, Ben's next
Why is he in a
move was to
Speedo?
sue Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best, the owners, personally. The problem was that the court required him to make a good faith effort to resolve the dispute before filing. Both men had blocked his phone number, so the only option left was showing up in person. Ben first went to Joshua Johnson's neighborhood in American Fork, Utah. Before he even approached the house, police suddenly appeared. Multiple patrol cars arrived, following his vehicle, and eventually pulled him over for allegedly running a stop sign. Ben later obtained the body cam footage and claimed it showed he had fully stopped.
Hey, content.
My name's Officer Civic American Police. The reason I stopped.
How are you?
I didn't. I thought I stopped.
Yeah, you definitely stopped.
Okay, I know about this one. I saw the police cam body cam. He did stop. The cop stayed like 3 car lengths behind, and the cop was able to get to the back bumper of the car, and he did have his blinker on. He did make a complete stop, and he pulled him over for that. So immediately that's in the wrong.
You say you ran a
Just
stop
woke
sign?
up. Well, good morning. Are you ready to watch the Xbox showcase? We're going to watch that in
Yeah.
15
I was
minutes.
so
Yeah, that's
sure
when it
that We
starts.
stopped at the stop sign that I actually requested all the police footage of this. And as you can see, we didn't even do a rolling stop. We fully stopped at the stop sign. So
Yeah.
this is an illegal traffic stop.
During the traffic stop, officers already seemed to know exactly who he was and why he was there. After hearing the story about the missing Lego collection,
I'm curious, content. What and Tara, I
refused
should have asked this because it is
Ben
Xbox
and
Day.
his
What
group were
games are you guys looking
trespassed
forward
from
to
the
today?
property before they could even
I don't know why that
attempt
clicked
to
in my mind.
clarify
I'm
the
like full focus on this
conversation.
Lego
The same
scandal.
pattern
This is like
repeated.
wild.
We visited Brandon Best, the other owner of the store. Ben confronted Brandon at his house and reminded him that they had already won in court. He accused Brandon and Josh of shutting down the store specifically to avoid paying the judgment. Brandon refused to engage and just kind of silently stood there while making an angry
E-Day?
face.
Hell yeah, I'm ready for E-Day. I love Gears of War. That's one of my top 5 favorite games.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm looking to see any PC games being ported over, to be honest. Well, I mean, it's Microsoft. They are porting over everything
For the lawsuit we won?
to PC as well. And I know Halo and Gears are going to PlayStation too.
Again. This time,
And they are
Ben
doing
documented
PC
the
releases. Like
trespass
Xbox
notice
is doing
and
everything on
submitted
PC and
it to the court
Xbox.
as proof that he had attempted the required good faith conversation. That evidence was enough to get his case against Brandon accepted. Joshua was a different story. While researching him, Ben discovered Joshua Johnson worked in a field that involved helping clients reduce legal exposure and liabilities, which Ben found deeply ironic considering the situation. He also learned that Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best were active members of the Mormon Church. Ben became convinced that appealing through the church might be his only chance to reach them. He tracked down their congregation and shared audio of Joshua previously swearing before God that he would return the Lego collection. A church member agreed to speak with Joshua.
What brings you here?
I'm just.
Also, because my friend has an Xbox, so cross-platform with PC is my main way to game with them. Like Helldivers 2 going to the Xbox port, for example. I gotcha. Ghostblade was like that too for a little while, but then I helped him build a PC because like he doesn't foresee another Xbox console for like maybe 2 generations, and they are getting expensive.
That's him.
No, I know that. I could tell that from the voice, but
I was just gonna ask him, like, is he willing to give up everything like he said? Because he swore on everything he swore on God.
Not long after, however, police
he swore to the Lord.
again after receiving a report that they were transporting heroin. Officers searched
What?
the vehicle for hours, searched the occupants, questioned them extensively, and found absolutely nothing. Despite passing every test and producing no evidence
That's
whatsoever,
illegal!
Ben felt
Making a
officers
false
were trying
claim!
to pressure them into admitting to crimes they hadn't committed. Eventually, though, they were released. After months of documenting failed attempts to contact Joshua, Ben finally got approval for his lawsuit and needed to serve court papers. Joshua wouldn't answer his door.
Oh
so
my God.
Ben came up with a plan. He placed a large sign on public property across the street from Joshua's house.
I stole a
that
dying
read,
man's
"I
life
stole from a
savings."
dying man's life savings.
What the
The goal
fuck?
wasn't the sign itself. The goal was getting Joshua to come outside so a process server could hand him the lawsuit paperwork.
Oh yeah,
Instead,
that's true.
showed up again and
Like
again
legally,
and
you
again.
yourself cannot hand over a legal document. You have to get someone else to do, or most of the time it's the cops because it's easier because you don't have to pay them.
Any laws. At one point, an officer even contacted the court directly and
I feel like this guy has
confirmed
dirt
the
on the
lawsuit
local
was legitimate.
PD or something, because what the
Moments
fuck?
later, Ben was
It's like they're
arrested
using them as tack
According
dogs?
to Ben,
100%.
The officers handcuffed him without clearly explaining what law he had broken. Despite previously telling
That's also
him he
illegal.
was allowed to stand where he was standing. While trying to understand what was happening, Ben received a call from Brian. Brian rightfully believed local police were protecting Joshua, Brandon, and Bricks and Minifigs because of its shared ties within the
I
Mormon
wonder.
community.
I wonder. I probably could talk about this. I wonder if he's using like a special thing, because like a lot of streamers do have this, where it's like a special button to direct the police to you that you're feeling unsafe, someone's trying to get in or someone's trying to do that. I wonder because he owns this company, he has that button and he's just like spamming it like crazy, getting these people away.
Yeah, the cops down there are definitely all in with the Mormon community, and being the bricks and minifigs is part of that and worth millions. I would not doubt that they have donated hefty sums to the Mormon church, of which all the cops are probably a part of.
Yeah, Brandon Best, Joshua Johnson, and Eamon, the CEO, are all super Mormon. Like, the CEO even went to the Mormon University. And when I looked up all the police officers who were treating me unfairly, they were all Mormon too.
And they take care of their own.
Oh,
They are like
God.
a huge clan that takes care of each other.
And instead of trying to get rid of the few bad people who are making Mormonism look bad, they're for some reason choosing to protect these criminals.
Ben began investigating.
They're saying
those
Bricks
connections
and
noted
Figs
that
have some
several
kind of
people
relationship with the
involved,
local
including
community
Bricks and
church
Minifig's leadership
dealio.
and some officers he
So much
encountered were
separation
members
of
of the
church and
church.
state. Oh yeah,
After
we're
eventually
seeing
getting
that
out of
right
jail,
now. My
Ben
God, I
decided
didn't think it was this
lawsuits weren't
bad.
working and launched a GoFundMe to help recover money for Brian's family. But even that triggered more police attention. One member of Ben's team, Sheldon, handed officers his phone during an investigation. Before surrendering it, he pressed the power button to lock the screen. Police immediately accused him of destroying evidence and arrested him on the spot. Even detectives later acknowledged
How would
that
you-
pressing a power button doesn't delete data.
You go through
yet
so much
Sheldon
steps on
still
deleting
ended up in
something.
jail. Then the unthinkable happened. Police obtained a warrant and raided Ben's house looking for stolen Lego sets.
That's this. Okay, this is. I know that they raided his house. Is this where the dislocated shoulder comes in?
Start with, make yourself known. Search warrant. Step outside, everybody. Come on.
No, don't.
Oh,
move
here's the
like
part.
that. You understand me? Don't move like that.
Like that.
Okay.
The basis
Right there. That's where his shoulder got dislocated. That's the part I know about. He did not run. He did not resist. They just immediately grabbed him.
for the search appeared to be the claims that Ben himself had stolen the missing collection.
If everyone
which
in the
spent
state
months
in church,
investigating. Officers searched the property
wait, if
and
everyone
found
in the
nothing.
state
No stolen
is
Lego
in the
collection, no evidence supporting the
church, you
accusation,
can't separate
yet
it
members
at
of
all.
the group were still
That's
taken
true.
into custody. During the raid, Ben says an officer violently yanked his arm backwards hard enough to dislocate his shoulder. The officer claimed Ben had made a sudden movement, but the body cam footage shows he was standing still. While being interrogated, Ben explained that after repeated arrests and police interference, the
We're raiding this house to locate stolen figs. Be armed to bear!
He was about to be locked away for an entire
Be
week
terror
in
level
jail,
of armed to
but
bear
at the
and ready or
last
not.
minute, a judge reviewed the situation and allowed Ben out on bail, but the legal problems weren't over.
I hate to pause
Not
this
long after his
when
release,
the
Ben
show
learned
starts,
that
but if they
there
do
was
like
yet
that
another
countdown
warrant for
thing,
his arrest.
we'll be
This
fine.
one reportedly came with no bail and classified him as a threat to Joshua Johnson. Facing the possibility of being arrested again at any moment, Ben left for Mexico. From there, he had to continue fighting Bricks and Minifigs, Joshua Johnson, Brandon Best, and
He bailed the
as a
country to
coordinated
go to
effort by
Mexico.
local authorities to protect them. Following the release of this video, it would do
Oh
even
my
better than last, getting millions of views and creating an insane amount of buzz all over the internet. At this point, Critical has made a handful of videos only talking about this topic, all of which have gotten millions of views. The police department have tried to respond to fix any semblance of public image they had left, but the damage
No,
has
they
pretty
lost
much
so
already been
much.
done. As of writing
I've seen
this,
clips of that.
GoFundMe has reached
The audio
303,000
quality
dollars
sucks.
raised and is rapidly growing as we speak. Several other celebrities like Ethan Klein have interviewed Ben, and even Coffeezilla expressed interest in the story. But since
Oh, they're
for
screwed if
years, the story
CoffeeZilla
has somehow gotten
investigates.
even messier.
Oh no,
Bricks and
they're so
Minifigs has gone
screwed.
From posting statements to filing an actual lawsuit.
I mean,
Instead of
CoffeeZilla
returning
mostly
to
goes after
photos or
crypto, but
quietly
I
stealing
think
like
this is a
everyone
CoffeeZilla thing. Like it's
the
calling
company and its
Batman.
franchisees took Ben, his LLC, Brian, and several others to court in Utah County. The whole complaint paints Ben's investigation as one big coordinated smear campaign, claiming that the videos, the stunts, the signs, the merch, and the social media posts were all part of a deliberate effort to falsely accuse the company of stealing the collection and covering it up. So after weeks of people asking why they didn't just hand back the Legos, this was apparently the answer. Sue the YouTuber, sue the family, and ask a judge to shut down the entire campaign. They're going after damages, attorney fees, and any profits tied to the videos and merchandise, while also asking the court to block things like further harassment, trespassing, fake documents, doxing, and the signs. Around the same time, the company dropped a much more detailed statement on their own website. They denied that corporate or the New Salem franchisees ever stole anything, insisted the consignment deal was never authorized in the first place, and pushed back hard on the valuation. According to them, the only paperwork they had ever received put the collection closer to $60,000 to $80,000, not the $200,000.
That's GameStop style. Oh, we're giving you a console and 40 games. Most I can give you is $1.50.
Belonged to Brian's family, worth maybe a few $1,000s, and that they offered to send those back but were turned down. And that explanation leaves the exact same question hanging in the air that's been here this whole time. If the deal was never valid and the company says it never owned these sets, then why did it take a viral firestorm, multiple lawsuits, police raids, and a full corporate meltdown just to arrive at, okay, we found a few sets that you can have back? The police side has heated up too. American Fork Police Department came out.
Oh, there's no way the police is not getting investigated.
They were never investigating the Lego dispute at all. They say they were simply responding to complaints from Joshua Johnson and his family, who claimed Ben kept showing up at his house, photographing the property, dropping off packages, and planting signs nearby, even after being warned to stop. Now, Ben is reportedly facing a stack of misdemeanor charges, including stalking, residential picketing, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass, and that case is still very much active. Ben, of course, isn't.
Oh, we're gonna get a part 2 of this.
The body cam footage
I don't know when.
Redacted, disputed the police timeline, and called for the full unedited recordings to be released. And while police did confirm they got a warrant to search the Airbnb where Ben and his team were staying, even their own records admit they didn't seize a single piece of stolen Lego. So at this point, the whole saga has basically split into 3 fights happening at once. There's still the original mystery of what actually happened to Brian's collection. There's the corporate lawsuit trying to reframe Ben as the villain, and then there's the police controversy, with Ben accusing local authorities of overreach, while the department swears it was just responding to behavior around a private home. But here's the part that's almost poetic. After everything, the internet may have already done what the courts couldn't manage in months. Ben says a 3rd installment is on the way. Bricks and Minifigs is now fighting him in court, and the American Fork Police Department is sitting under a level of public scrutiny they almost never saw coming. What started over a dispute over Star Wars Lego has turned into a corporate lawsuit, a police misconduct debate, and easily one of the strangest internet investigations of the year. And then, Bricks and Minifigs somehow found a way to make the optics even worse. On top of suing Ben,
I don't believe you.
his Patreon. The platform's CEO, Jack Conte, came out publicly and said that on May 29th, Patreon received an official takedown request from Bricks and Minifigs targeting media and accounts.
It gets worse.
And the whole Lego consignment dispute. According to Jack, the request came loaded with the verified complaint, a demand to pull Ben's content immediately under a temporary restraining order, and a motion for that restraining order and a preliminary injunction. But once Patreon's safety team actually looked it over, they rejected the whole thing and left Ben's page exactly where it was. And Jack did not give them the polished corporate non-answer they were probably hoping for. He wrapped up the announcement by saying Patreon had decided, and I'm quoting here, Bricks and Minifigs can stuff it. And if they don't like that decision, they're welcome to sue Patreon too. So now, we're past this just being a company suing a YouTuber. They were
I'm just making sure with the stream, because it's supposed to start in a minute.
And releases the investigation itself. And rather than quietly fold, Patreon basically told them to get lost on camera for everyone to see. For a company already accused of trying to bury this story, going after the Patreon of the guy exposing them might be the single worst PR move they had left on the table. At this point, every single attempt to make this story disappear has only made it bigger. First, the loss.
Okay, hold on. All right, let's finish up this one, and then I'll bring up some of the other stuff.
lawsuit, then the police controversy, and now the
This was the Lego scandal. This is just at the end.
Into this trying to dodge a $200,000 problem, but somewhere along the way they turned it into a full-scale internet war. Hey guys, it is
After this, we'll talk more about the showcase.
Uploading this video, and so much has happened today that
because there's lots of stuff that I guess I can show now that got leaked.
Because somehow this story has got even worse. The American Fork Police body cam footage leaked unredacted, and this is important because if you remember from earlier, the police had released this footage, but a lot of the most important parts were blurred, muted, or cut out. The unredacted footage was found through a public Dropbox link connected to the department's own release. Whilst it wasn't up for long, internet sleuths downloaded it and started comparing it to the version police originally showed everyone. And the reason this has been blowing up is because a lot of the redacted footage seems to be the exact stuff that made the police look terrible. Everyone online has been pointing out that the police weren't just neutrally responding to calls. In the footage, they appear to be taking the claims from Bricks and Minifig's side extremely seriously, almost at face value, while treating Ben and his team like criminals from the very beginning. There are clips being discussed where Joshua Johnson, one of the owners of Bricks and Minifigs, is talking with the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, Amon McNeff, where serious accusations are being made about Ben, including that he was supposedly threatening people. In the footage, you see police just accepting these claims without nearly the level of skepticism they showed Ben, where, if you recall, they outright just said they don't believe him and that they think he's lying. And that's what makes these redactions look so bad, because if the police were genuinely confident they had handled everything properly, why were so many of the conversations that made them look biased hidden from the public version? The Airbnb raid also looks even worse. This was the raid where the police searched the place Ben and his team were staying, supposedly looking for stolen Lego. They found no stolen Lego, but in the footage, it seems like the police were escalating first and then trying to figure out justification later. There's also been rumors around the Airbnb host being connected to someone in the police department, which adds another layer to the accusations that this wasn't just normal police work, but a small town network protecting one side of the dispute. So now the police controversy has almost become its own separate story. It's not just that Ben says the police were corrupt, it's that the unredacted footage gave people hours of material to go through, and a lot of what they've already found seems to support the idea that American Fork Police Department was not acting like a neutral third party as they should. Then, while all of that was happening, Bricks and Minifigs made another huge move. On the 4th of June, they announced that the Salem store is permanently closed, and that they've parted ways with Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson, the two franchise owners at the center of the whole controversy. They also released a new timeline where they shift more blame onto the previous owner, saying there were messy records, multiple spreadsheets, and point-of-sale data showing over $52,000 in sales connected to the collection. But here's what makes that so frustrating. Bricks and Minifigs is now saying they want to sit down with Brian, review the records, return any remaining Star Wars Lego, and figure out how to make him whole, which is basically what everyone was asking them to do.
Wait, they're finally doing what they were supposed to do from the beginning?
This is no longer just about a missing Lego collection. It's a franchise shut down, a leaked police footage scandal, a possible civil rights issue, and a company suddenly trying to solve the exact problem they spent weeks denying was theirs to solve. This situation is ongoing, and I will be covering any major developments moving forward, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, as trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Well, damn. Honestly, the Lego thing is like really crazy. But I know we kind of split up this video, but go give Internet Anarchist a like.